Hey, it's Jay Muse, and you're listening to Cult of Dave, man, the best podcast next to mine. Snooch to the nooch!
Yeah, this is where the fire happened. Happened November 2015, and we were out until January 1st of 2017. 14 months.
Was it the coffee pot?
It was honestly, it's undetermined, which is scary.
Sounds like arson to me.
I know.
Insurance fraud.
First of all, I totally recommend burning down your house in terms of the money side of it, because now I own a brand new house.
I'm all for it. I want mine to burn really bad. Drink the Kool-Aid, kids. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Dave. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I thought I'd Skype you up real quick and do a little podcasting.
Sweet, bro. My mic's all warmed up like a stack of flapjacks. What do you want to talk about?
It don't matter because this show's so tight, it's gonna blow some minds tonight. Yeah, it's that time for the Cult of Dave. Join us now and you might get saved. It's that time for the Cult of Dave. Fill that glass and drink the Kool-Aid, kids.
You want to talk some Bigfoot or some pop culture?
Or conspiracy theories.
How about bringing on a cool rock band?
It don't matter because this show's so tight, it's gonna blow some minds tonight. Yeah, it's that time for the Cult of Dave. Fill that glass and drink the Kool-Aid, kids. Be a Kool-Aid kid. Hello, and welcome to another fan-fucking-tastic episode of the Cult of Dave. I am your host, Dave Weimer, and with me, as always, is the man who has a family of Keebler elves living in his bunghole, Jerry Butler.
And I admit to it.
No offense to you or your butthole, but that would be a horrible place to live.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, dude, what's crapping?
What's crapping?
Yeah.
I thought I would read some emails.
Oh.
We've never done that. Mainly because
Nice.
we don't get a lot.
I don't think we've ever asked for a single one, have we?
No, but people have emailed over the 2 years. I mean, I put the email address up on like our first or second episode. I don't know, but we never do say how to get a hold of us. I mean, maybe if we did, we'd get more emails, but maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe we should start a Facebook page.
I have one. I just don't run it. The only time I know I can get on it is if someone tags me in it. It's the weirdest thing. They're like, oh, someone tagged me. Cool.
Oh.
How do I post from this, though? I can't do it. Anyway, Jerry.
Anyway, Dave.
I searched through them, and I found some positive ones.
Cool.
I think I found 4 positive ones. There's a lot of negative ones.
I can't. I want to see where this goes.
They're not.
Let's get into this.
They're not all from 4 years ago or 2 years ago.
Oh.
I don't think any of them are. So anyway, here's the first one. Ricky White in Portland, Oregon writes, "Hey guys, really like your show a lot and really like the band. Oh, and really like the bands. Is there any chance my band, Sizemore, can come on and play Shit for Brains with Jerry and Dave? We are pretty good. Thanks, guys. Rock on." Well, I don't know. Do you have music? You sent me an email. Could you send me music?
Ricky White is not a name I associate with, was it Portland?
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of these names.
Ricky White sounds like a guy who's, just setting up his car to get into the, into the Derby this weekend in Chattanooga.
He wants to come on and play Shit for Brains.
He wants to play Shit for Brains.
I don't know if he wants his band on or if he just wants to play Shit for Brains. I need music, guy. So you know the email address. I appreciate the email. Thank you very much, but send some songs.
Or Ricky, could you just send us another email clarifying which one it is you want to do? If it's just strictly Shit for Brains, well...
You're shit out of luck.
People just don't get to walk on and just play the game Shift for Brains and then walk away. No, you've got to go deep into the depth
Deep into the depths.
of the cult. of
You just got to
Dave.
send us some songs we like.
I was trying to make it more ominous and more mysterious, and maybe people would be like, "Oh, fuck, this is good." Well, no, it's just songs. That's all it comes down to. Just send me some songs, and we'll be judgmental about it. And if we don't like them, you'll never hear from us.
That's not necessarily true, but it possibly
It pretty
is.
much is.
All right. Alice from Chicago writes.
Alice from
Yeah.
Chicago.
Alice Fontes or Fontes. Fontes. I read it as Fontes. Maybe it's Fonts. Let's just call her Alice Fontes for now.
Fontes.
From Chicago. Your episode 25, Cosplay is Not Consent, that you did from Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City is one of my favorites. Thank you, Alice. Is there any chance you will come to C2E2 in Chicago anytime soon?
No.
Did you say no?
Just straight up no. C2E2 would be the fucking shit, though, dude. I'll stop joking around. C2E2 would be fucking balls out. It's got to be, at least for where I'm at, it's one of the bigger fucking ones. You know?
Yeah, I'd totally be into that. The only thing is it costs a lot of money, Alice, and we don't have a lot of money.
Oh.
We don't get invited to these cons. We pay our way in. We have to buy
we definitely pay our way in.
We will be at Comic Palooza coming up in Houston.
And depending on the airing of this episode, we will have either will be or have been at Omaha Comic Con.
Yeah, we're talking real Comic Cons, bro.
Wow.
I just totally dissed your hometown, bro. I am so sorry.
It's all right.
That one rocks.
It wouldn't be cold to Dave. I mean, can we digress from this email segment here for a moment and take a trip back down memory lane? Ports, Jerry. Ports.
Hey,
Let's run that joke into the ground.
well, it's not really a joke. It's a fact. There are no ports. You do have the railroad there, as was stated in an episode 25 that this chick liked. That's cool.
I guess.
Yeah, I would love to go around doing cons. That'd be fun.
Well, it'd be nice to get asked to, after we gain some ground, to maybe moderate some panels. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine the fun we'd have? It'd be some of these panels would just, I think promoters would be like, what the fuck is going on? This is a train wreck.
Oh God, that'd be
Train wreck in their opinion, but just fucking legit fun for us.
that would be so much fun. One can dream.
I wonder if Alice is a cosplayer.
I don't know. That's what I would love to do is fucking judge a cosplay. That would be so great, wouldn't it? Someday, Jerry. We need to start picking up ground, though, because I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, what? Neither am I.
75-year-old Dave Weimer is judging cosplay. It's a good one, kids. I like the costume a lot. Are those real? What's your favorite cosplay? Do you like the guys that go all out, like the fucking Halo 2 dudes that just look like they're right there, or do you like the half-naked ones? Now, let me see how less shit I could wear and get away with legally.
Right. I mean, I won't fucking try to mask it here. I mean, yeah, the more skin, the better. On dudes.
Dudes.
I don't know why dudes got to cover up all the time. Just fucking let it out.
I hear you, man. All right, next email. Terry Reynolds from St. Paul, Minnesota
All right.
writes, great show. You two have turned me on to some excellent music and excellent bands. My favorite band so far has been Medicated Savage.
Whoa.
We got a metalhead here. But all have been great.
All have been great?
You should offer a public service on your show and announce when and where the bands are playing so we can go see them when they are in our towns. Thanks for the tunes and laughs.
Can I interject here for a little bit?
Yeah.
We have to do the public service announcement?
Well, don't we already do that when we're talking to them? Don't they say where they're playing? We always ask them what's coming up, what's on the docket, if they understand it or not.
Don't we usually pimp out everybody's social medias?
Yeah. Follow them, guys.
I mean, it's right there. Yeah. Be proactive, Terry.
Thank you for listening. That was awesome of you to and responding, or what do you say, and interjecting. Not everybody has great ideas.
Your interaction with the podcast is well appreciated. However, read the show notes.
Yes.
I usually provide. And
I will emphasize there are no stupid questions, just stupid people that ask questions.
Are we growing a fan base here, or are we losing a fan base?
I don't know. No, I appreciate you, Terry. I do.
Terry, we'll make it up to you. Send, reply back with your address. We'll send you a free Cult of Dave sticker to go on your laptop.
Oh, we have laptop stickers? Is that what they're called? Are they designed for laptops?
That's what I use mine for.
Oh, yeah. Well, then there you go. Be like Jerry, kids. Put your stickers on your laptop. All right. Chris Morse from Texas writes, I've seen your picture on Twitter. You are hot, and I want to do you all night.
Fuck.
P.S. I'm a dude. He doesn't say who, though. It's got to be you.
Yeah, sure.
But he's in Texas. It might be me.
Never seen anybody just the same car parked in the same area, just hanging out, watching you when you leave for work? Or...
Yeah, I just assumed that was normal activity. Where can you send emails, Jerry?
You can go to the cultofdavepod@gmail.com.
You sure can. Or you can follow us on Twitter, too. At COD_POD. Or at the New Pod World Order.
So, those were great emails.
Yeah. Thank you. Send some more in. Ask us personal stuff. And don't be afraid to go to SoundCloud and like us. Or if you're an iTunes person, go there and leave us a review. Be it good or bad. Hopefully good. But, help us out, man.
Let's see what we got here. Cult of Dave.
Oh.
Wow. We just received this on Wednesday, bro. One of my all-time favorite podcasts. So hilarious. That came from Open Mike Jesse.
Oh, I bet I know who that is.
I bet I know who that is, too.
It's Jesse from Kings of Spade, I bet.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, they are in the studio, dude. They are going to have another album. I don't know if they're having a whole album or if it's an EP or just some songs by the end of the summer, though. And I am excited.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about calling them up and saying, dude, if you're in the studio right now and, it's not a big hassle, can I get on the guest list? No. Can you write me a theme song?
That's awesome.
That was a big compliment from Jesse, man.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
I give your band a 5-star rating too, bro. Fucking love those guys. I cannot wait to hear some new fucking tunes, dude.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Have you hopped on the Tell 'em Steve Dave Patreon yet?
Have I? Yes, I am a $5 donor.
Oh, cool. So you get the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
That's a great idea they have going on, man.
Yeah.
I'd take my hat off to the guys, dude. I would love to see us be able to do something like that someday. I would just be afraid to look at the numbers, though, Oh, do we have 10 yet?
Yeah.
But you never know.
You gotta start somewhere with it, you know? If we got a good fucking idea.
I have another idea, too. It's called The Morning Growler.
Shut the fuck up.
It'd be a daily fucking podcast. Like, it would come out Monday through Friday. Short one, like 10 minutes long. It would span the average shit, So instead of going into the fucking bathroom to read a paper or anything, you just go and take your dump and you fucking listen to this podcast.
That's all right.
We should probably try to do a little sample of that right now as a segment.
As a tester?
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Okay.
The Cult of Dave presents the perfect podcast. It's news you can use, delivered in the time it takes you to poo. So take a seat on that porcelain, sit back and relax, and get the job done. It's time for your morning growler.
I feel better already.
The music really makes me want to poo.
Well, it's relaxing. I instantly felt my colon just kind of relax.
Welcome to the Morning Growler.
Is it morning or daily growler?
The Morning Growler. It's like your morning poo, you know?
The morning poo.
Yeah.
What time is your morning poo?
I work at 4
Okay.
in the morning, so it's usually right around 6.
I was thinking that right in my head. I'm like, it's got to be about 2 to 3 hours after you start work.
Mm-hmm. It's usually right after I come back from my break. I'll extend that break with a poo.
Coffee's hitting a little hard this morning.
Exactly. So yeah, on this episode of The Morning Growler, let's talk about Daniel Glover, who played Lando Calrissian in the latest Star Wars movie.
Yeah, the Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I liked
heard it's doing pretty good.
Well, I heard it was not. I heard it. Oh, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, I'm just hearing from just friends of mine.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he's not just an actor. He is a performer, a singer. You know, he was on Parks and Recs. He was on
Community.
Community. Yeah, thank you, dude. I've totally fucking spaced it off. So anyway, he is getting sued by his record label.
Yeah, it would be his former record label.
Yeah, which is crazy that record labels, for one, still exist, and for another, that they're still fucking ripping everybody off.
I guess he has some unpaid royalties for streaming.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
This is a whole new fucking concept for people like me and you. Because I think even when we were writing music, even up into the early 2000s, there wasn't really streaming. You just put your shit on a MySpace page.
Mm-hmm. Which technically, I guess, is streaming. I don't know. A YouTube video or something like that. But Solo, a Star Wars story, Donald Glover is being sued by his record label, Glassnote Entertainment Group, over unpaid royalties for streaming.
Right.
So I guess he owes like $700,000 from streaming revenue.
Interesting.
So people pay to stream it. Is that like downloading it on iTunes?
No, that must be just like, you bring up iTunes. iTunes has an iTunes radio that you can subscribe to for like $9.99 a month. Mm-hmm. And I can listen to anybody's music, even their newest shit, without ever actually buying the album.
Spotify.
Right. So iTunes must have to secure the rights to have that. They must have to pay a percentage back to the label or the artist for allowing that. Otherwise, how would artists or a label ever make money? You put your shit onto like Spotify, and what happens then? I mean, Spotify just puts it out to millions of people.
Yeah. I bet Chuck Staten from Senior Discount, who has a brand new album on Paper and Plastic Records called The Best Revenge, could answer some of these questions for us.
Yeah.
According to TMZ, Glassnote claims Glover, who performs under the name Childish Gambino,
gay.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb, is collecting streaming royalties but is not paying his label anything. Glover has taken over $700,000 for streaming revenue. Glassnote says it paid Glover almost $8 million and expects to sign another $2 million paycheck in the next 3 months. Glassnote also accused Glover of demanding $1.5 million to solve any streaming and royalty disputes. Glassnote has released the 3 Childish Gambino albums, including his Grammy-winning 2016 album, Awaken My Love.
That's the part I don't understand. That's the part where I'm just like, I'm really confused. He pulled in $700,000 in revenue, but Glassnote has accused Glover of demanding $1.5 million to solve. That's like, hey, I got $700,000. That just really isn't making my mortgage payment. I need $1.5 million. But they're the ones that are saying, whoa, we're losing all the fucking money here, not you.
Yeah.
This is very fucking confusing, dude. This is like the hardest thing to try and understand in the scope of being a music artist in today's world.
Donald is undoubtedly one of the most talented, multifaceted young entertainers of this era. RCA chairman CEO Peter Edge said in a statement to Variety, "We are excited to join forces with him and Wolf and Rothstein to usher in a new phase of Childish Gambino's musical career." So he dogged the old label for a new label.
How do you make heads or tails of this?
I don't know. The whole thing about the record label really confuses me because there are no records. Are you selling vinyl? Are you pressing vinyl on him? Then make that fucking money. Anything streaming, I don't think you should put your fucking grubs on. But I don't know what these contracts are like.
I have no idea either. What the bands that we've interviewed before, they talk about, we were working with a label or a production company. They front the bill for us to do all this amazing stuff, but we got to pay them back. Mm-hmm. It's too confusing. Like the artist goes to the label to record their shit. Maybe they pay for all the recording and everything, expecting a certain percentage back off the sales of it. And when you go to stream stuff, now that's the confusing part, because if you're working with a label, it should be the label that's in control of saying, yes, Spotify, you can have it. We collect the money, and then once we hit a certain amount, then we start paying the artist. This to me sounds like Donald was like, yeah, Spotify, if you want my music, here you go, cuz. Send the check right over here to cash, just put it right in this bank account, and we's good, player.
Yeah.
While the label's like, what the fuck? We fronted the recording for that.
That's what I'm wondering what happened. But in this day and age, the need for a label, especially somebody like that, why even go to a label?
Right.
You're made, dude.
You've already been in a fucking sweet ass fucking movie. What else do you need?
You're in Star Wars.
Yeah, dude.
People are going to fucking pay for your shit. I don't understand this thing. That was the greatest thing about this whole new media type of thing. It's like bands really don't need to fucking deal with record companies anymore.
No.
Yet the record companies are still fucking finding their grubby little fingers into everything.
Yeah. I really think if people really fucking took a hard look at it, they could realize the monster that they're dealing with. It's like, sure, they can get you out to fucking people, but dude, it's almost, Dave, it's the exact analogy of the devil says, if you just give me your soul, I can give you a lot of fucking things in return.
I guess what we're talking about is the difference between 800 million and 65 million. It's like, hey, we can get you to that 800 million mark. If you're on your own, you're only going to get to like that 65 million mark, bro. Nobody just wants to be a 65 millionaire.
Damn, I would definitely like to be a $65 million podcast.
I would too.
I don't need a label.
It's mind-boggling. I mean, how big do you have to get?
When is too much money too much?
And are you an actor or are you a musician? What are you?
Yeah.
Listening to his shit, I say actor. He's got some cool shit out there, though. He does. One of his songs is now, like, I think he's, like, being, like, subjected to ripping off somebody else on
Yeah,
something.
I think there was something else mentioned that he's got, on top of this, he's got another thing where Jace Harley had a song called American Pharaoh.
American Pharaoh?
Yeah. New York rapper Jace Harley's 2016 song, American Pharaoh. According to him, he's thinking that Childish Gambino wrote a song called This Is America. Halsey knew that song was inspired by his shit, but...
Isn't that ironic? Rappers are now talking about people ripping them off. Dude, you guys made a career of ripping everybody off.
But what's funny is that dude's got a fucking like plagiarism suit against him, but he's just like, hey, don't take all this negativity about the suit to take away from what the songs are trying to project.
Yeah.
That's an upstanding brother. Hey, brother, I know you ripped me off, but however, we have a bigger problem. So while I sue your ass, let's just make sure our songs get played and the messages delivered to the young brothers out there living in this world of America under oppression and atrocities.
Think about that while you wipe. Don't forget to wash your hands. There's the morning growler. Now, speaking about childish, what is it? Childish Gambino?
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
What is a Gambino?
Is that an Italian like slang name or something?
Must be. Italians that gamble. They're Gambinos.
Gambino. The plural is gambini, diminutive of gamba. The rear part of the upper of a shoe. The short pit prop.
Childish piece of shoe. That is a really dumb name.
You are a child's shoe part.
Dude played Lando Calrissian, dude. An iconic character in a movie that you have not seen. I thought he did an excellent job in it.
Is he a good actor?
Yeah, he was great, dude. Billy D. Williams sent him a text or a tweet saying, nice work. Good job. I dug the movie. I thought it was great. I thought that that's a very tough thing to go into, to portray Harrison Ford as a character that we grew up with. I liked the Star Wars stories. You just saw Rogue One. You didn't like it, you said.
No. The story just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't have like anything that I could just like get attached to or anything. You know,
I get the whole thing where, like, you know, it's anticlimactic because you pretty much know everybody in the fucking movie is going to die because nobody existed after that. So
it wasn't really that at all, that knowing like, oh yeah, everybody dies at the end here. It was just the female lead in it. I just couldn't get into her
really?
At all. I just couldn't find
her.
anything I connected.
I thought she was great. I thought she was really cool. I dug her character, dude.
Yeah.
I just like the whole, like, you know, the dad that created this whole thing, and then he's like, fuck it, I'm bailing.
No, his character was fucking cool.
I'm bailing on the Empire.
Yeah, as far as her, I didn't think there was many layers to her.
Well, she's not an ogre. Sorry. I had to.
The other dude, the blind Jedi guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was cool as far as like what his character could do, but
those two are great though.
That's all there was to him. He was just like, hey, I can do some really cool action moves.
Yeah, but there's so much more to his story than fucking action moves. I mean, he was the wannabe Jedi. That whole fucking story there is incredible. And as far as action moves, look at Darth Maul, man. And they killed him off. It's like fucking dumbasses. Which is what I really like about this fucking Star Wars story movies, is you can bring all these people back and have stories about them. But I guess they're shutting it down. It annoys the fuck out of me. Because I want a Boba Fett movie, man. I want to see him fucking bounty hunting and fucking. I want to see him how he got that Wookiee scalp.
Right.
You know, that'd be great.
That would be a cool side thing that could stand alone on its own.
Yeah, because in Solo they showed you the Castle Run and how he won the Millennium Falcon.
Right on.
And how he met Chewie was fucking great, man. I fucking love that.
That's parts of the movie that I want to see too, is how all that shit happened together.
I want to see more. It's like, I love watching a fucking movie.
But I'm just gonna go on the record and say I think Rogue One was just kind of like blah.
That's fine.
I'm not going to debate you, Jerry. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and debate.
The great Cult of Dave debate is here. In this corner, weighing in 45.5 stone, Jerry the Ogre Butler.
And in this corner, weighing in at... How many stones were you?
I was 45, so that makes you about 15.
No. How many were you? 45? I'll go 35. 35 stone! Dave Weimer.
What are we talking about this? Like, who the fuck measures in fucking stones?
Yeah, what is up with that?
What the fuck?
You were watching some, was it a MMA fight?
Yeah, I was watching some UFC fights that were like from Ireland or whatever, and everybody was weighed in stones. I was like, what's the base stone weigh then? What's a stone?
Well, first you got to get a scale, and then you got to throw some stones in there, and I guess...
You just throw some stones in there.
And then you need to know what kind of stone it is. I mean, is it granite? Is it limestone? Are these mossy stones?
I don't know, dude. I was just trying to figure out how they came up with the stone shit. They say it's a stone weight is an English and imperial unit of mass, now equal to 14 pounds.
Yeah, but you had to fucking weigh the stone.
Yeah.
Right? How do you know that stone is that much weight? Well, we had to weigh it. So why don't you just fucking weigh yourself? A stone weighs this. That is the dumbest fucking thing. Let's see how many steps we can do to get to this one point. Because we could just take one step and be there. But why not just walk around the whole entire thing all day long? It's like, that is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. And that's Ireland?
Well, it says it started in England and other Germanic-speaking countries of Northern Europe. See, the stone does not match into anything whatsoever. It is 14 pounds. Is that metric for you? No, it's not.
So to go on a diet, all you got to do is get a bigger stone.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. It's like, well, take the 22-pound stones. Hey, dude, I weighed fucking 45 stones. I got to go on a diet. Here's some bigger stones. How much is that? Fucking $10,000, but you're gonna lose a lot of weight. All right, I'm in, man. I need to lose the weight. All right, go weigh yourself. Whoa, check it out. I'm 15 stone. Jesus fucking Christ.
So I walk up and everybody's like, "Hey, how many stones are you?" I'm like, "Hey, see the 6 horses with the carriage over there? See that boulder in the back? That's my stone."
And now all the Germanic-speaking European doctors are going to diagnose you with anorexia because you got yourself down to 1 stone. It kind of reminds me of the whole cars being measured in horsepower thing, like, how many horses you got under that hood? I don't know, but it doesn't pull the fucking stones away.
I was going to say, I only have a PT Cruiser, Dave. It's probably maybe 1 and a quarter? 1 1/4 horses?
Your PT Cruiser is at least 10 horsepower, I think.
You're a generous man, Dave. If anybody ever tells you different.
Well, no, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but isn't 1 horsepower the speed of 1 horse? Like, let's say a horse can go 9 miles an hour, then 10 horsepower, your car could go 90 miles an hour?
You think so?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Well, I just thought that it was just like the power in your car, like how fast do you get to the 60 or whatever? Because I'm pretty sure a dude on a horse might fucking beat me at a red light. I mean, he may be down the block before my car catches him.
I don't know what it was, but it looked like an elf on a horse in a pink and white diamond shirt.
I can see the visual in my head. This little fucking 35-pound jockey that's like fucking 4'9". All right, you ready? We're gonna whip this up fucking PT Cruiser's ass.
Jockeys are fucking weird, bro.
Have you ever met somebody who was a jockey?
Yes, I have.
So have I. I worked with one.
The dude who lives right down the street on the end of the cul-de-sac used to be a jockey. Now he's a fucking plumber. But he's like this little... Well, he's not tiny. He's fucking fat, but he's short. He comes right up to my belly button.
You don't ever ask him to run through your garden and chase the rabbits out because you don't want Wilson getting them anymore?
No, but I always want to drug him and dress him like a gnome. But yeah, he's kind of got a little attitude. It's definitely not a big one. Syndrome. He owns his own plumbing company.
I tried to be a plumber once, and you're a little big. You're a little big to be working underneath sinks.
Plumbing sucks, dude. And it's easy shit, dude. You just fucking screw this in here and screw that in there, and boom.
All you gotta know how to do is just a little soldering here and there. Put your copper pipe together. Yeah. There you go.
A lot of the in-home shit is all PVC piping. Easy shit. I just can't get to the fucking shit. And when I'm on my back, shit don't work. I'm like, can't lift my arm up here, and it's like, fuck. It's all tight fucking spots.
Yeah.
That's why I want a huge fucking house and just have everything really big. That'd be badass.
Why are your cabinets 4 feet wide? The doors to your cabinets are just fucking huge.
Well, I'm fat, and I don't want to pay a plumber.
I don't like to pay for plumbing.
And it provides for excellent counter space.
When you got cabinets with a lot of doors on them, it gets confusing on which fucking cabinet you're talking about. Me, I've only got but 4 doors that are 4 feet wide.
They're closets.
You have a 1 in 4 chance fucking getting the right one I'm talking about.
When your kitchen cabinets are clarified as closets.
Can you go to the spice closet? Get me some paprika, please.
Well, enough of this town foolery, Jerry. We have a guest tonight.
Oh, we do.
We do.
I thought we were going to go all organic, just a natural Dave and Jerry cod pot.
It seemed like we were going to, but no. We have a guest. We're talking to Chuck Staten tonight.
All right, well, cool, dude.
Yeah, should we play a song right now?
Yeah,
Okay, how about Ataxia?
sounds good. That's a good one.
Please welcome to the Cult of Dave virtual soundstage with their song Ataxia. It's Senior Discount. Oh my, that was a fantastic song. Please welcome our guest, Chuck Staten, from the rock group Senior Discount. Hello, Chuck. Welcome to the Cult of Dave.
What's going on, fellas? Nice to meet you guys.
Please understand that we will be talking to you in our radio voices all interview long.
Yeah, hell yeah, I like that.
Excellent. Back to you, Jerry.
I'm coming to you live from Omaha, Nebraska, where it's a sweaty balls humidity. How about you over there, Chuck?
Oh my God, yeah, I'm in Rhode Island, and it's exactly the same.
Oh, Rhode Island, you say?
Yes, that's where I am.
Well, why the fuck would you want to blow that up, Chuck?
What do you mean?
Well, Chuck, don't you have a song called Explode, Rhode Island?
Oh, Explode Rhode Island. Yeah. It's the Explode Rhode Island is more about the idea of like I guess actually blowing up, but in the popularity sense.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, you do not want to cause any harm to the people or the state of Rhode Island?
No, I don't think so.
People should be concerned about this.
For 90% of the people, I do not want to cause them harm here.
Well, that's interesting because we just played a song right before this interview, and that song was Ataxia.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Taxia.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about killing people.
I am, yeah.
Chuck, would you like to pull up a couch and talk about your feelings and see where all this rage is coming from?
Actually, Ataxia was almost like, it's honestly like a satire of punk rock. That song was written as a satire of what punk rock is.
That's a fun song, dude.
Thank you very much. It's it came from a place of like I love all different types of the world of punk rock, from bands like Green Day down to like bands like Leftover Crack and like, you know, the crazy, really like crust punk bands. And Ataxia is like probably our thrashiest, most obscene, fastest song. And yeah, it was kind of started out as like a satire, and then we kept playing it faster and faster, and people love it. So it's one of our kind of our staples now.
What about bands like Dead Kennedys, Jello Biafra?
You know, there's like Dead Kennedys, and also like Minor Threat.
California Herberalis, the California Herberalis.
I do like that song a lot. But I am not actually as well versed in a lot of the older punk bands as like kind of the bands I'd say that probably started in the early to mid 90s, I'd say is where I'm most well versed. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love a lot of that stuff. I love all that stuff.
Well, Senior Discount takes me right back to the late 90s, dude.
Yeah.
Blink-182, Green Day, Little Lit.
Oh, yeah.
Those are obviously big influences on you.
Yeah, Blink-182 and Green Day are definitely, they're, you know, Blink-182 is probably the reason that we believed that we could start a band. And we kind of like, we're definitely inspired by Green Day as well. Certainly, like, you know, to this point in time, especially, I'm kind of floored by what Green Day has become, because they're basically like the Who of the past 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, eventually they are going to be classic rock. You know what I mean? They certainly are. I mean, I was probably 11 when Dookie came out, which is when their like career broke, and that's kind of what made punk rock become mainstream. Man, it's incredible what both bands have become. I mean, Blink-182 is doing a Las Vegas residency right now.
I think that whole 90s grunge scene really helped punk
absolutely
go mainstream.
Absolutely. Well, the idea is Kurt Cobain believed that Nirvana was just a punk band, right? But in reality, he was starting a new genre. But yeah, no, absolutely. It was a little bit of a response to, you know, grunge is a response to what, hair metal, and punk rock is an extension of the grunge movement and kind of what became popular with it. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you definitely have that post-grunge sound that came out right after.
Yes, yeah. We're definitely super influenced by like NoFX, Green Day, Rancid, Blink, all that stuff like that. I love it. Less Than Jake is a big influence on us.
Well, you just played the Vans Warped Tour there.
Yeah, we just played on Sunday.
Dude, that's awesome.
That was up in Boston, right?
It was actually Hartford, Connecticut is the one that we were on. Yeah, it was really fun. It was they do the stages by a lottery, so you go there and then they tell you your time when you get there. So we had to load in at 8:30 in the morning, and our stage time was 7:40 p.m.
Holy shit.
We sat in 90-degree heat for 11 hours before playing.
Wow.
That fucking blows my mind. Just like, hey, everybody just show up at 8 o'clock and we'll figure it out from there.
Wow, that's just nuts, man. And, hey, it's fucking rude.
So the way that it works, as far as I can tell, is they have certain, you know, I'd say let's call it 60 to 70% of the bands are consistently on the tour, and then they have different bands on each day. So I talked to Kevin Lyman, who is the founder of Warped Tour, and he still runs it. He was on our podcast in maybe like April, and he added us to the Hartford date. And so we talked to like his team and everything. And I believe that like all the tour buses come in whenever. They probably honestly come in overnight, which is everyone that's on the tour consistently. And then all the regional bands have to be there between 8:30 and 9:30. And yeah, everyone basically, you get there, you go in, you get all your wristbands, you load in, and then they say, yeah, we're going to figure out the set times in a little bit, check back with us. And then they do a lottery and they tell everybody. So, you know, it's cool because there's a lot of other bands that are also on the date regionally, and they'll like all set up next to us in tents, and we'll be able to sell our merch together. They're super, super organized. Kevin told me that when they go to Canada, they have one night to get 900 people over the border with Warped Tour.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Jesus.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely really fun. I mean, it was a hard weekend because our album came out on Friday. Our new album is called The Best Revenge. It's on Paper and Plastic Records.
Great album.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it came out Friday. And so leading up to that, you know, there's a lot of, I'll call it national work, where you're just talking to publications and setting up reviews. But at the same time, we also had our album release show in Providence, which is like our home city, Providence, Rhode Island, where it's like we're also promoting for that on a ground level and trying to get people out physically to our show. So Friday night was like this crazy like clusterfuck of of making sure that people come out. And it was a great show. Like 1,200 people at least came out to the show.
Nice.
Which was awesome. And I was also directing a shoot of a 5-camera shoot of the concert, as well as like being the lead singer in the band, and then loading everything up. Getting home around 3 a.m. Then the next day, leading everybody up to Hartford, getting into our hotels, and then getting everyone to the Warped Tour at 8:30 in the morning. Which, dude, I don't know if it's because this is the last Warped Tour or what. There was a line of like thousands of people at 9:30 in the morning for Warped Tour, like of people waiting to get in, like kids in line to get into the show.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy weekend. Very tiring.
I've been wanting to talk to you for quite a while, man. You're just
Yeah.
a freaking busy dude.
Yeah, it's
And I was like,
yeah.
when is a good time for me to send this cat a message? Dude?
Yeah, hey, dude, anytime. I try to make time for everything. I'm good with organization and getting back to people right away. So even if I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be free for a couple weeks, I'll get back to you all the time. So hit me up
that's cool.
anytime, man. Yeah, it's good.
You definitely have your fingers in lots of different pies.
Yes, yeah.
I like pie.
I like pie in general. So apple, blueberry,
Poutang.
yeah. You know what? Turkey pot. How about that?
Yeah.
Shepherds. No, it's been a crazy couple of years. I've been in the band for a long time, and I've been doing film work for a long time, as well as I do a podcast called the Chuck and Brad Podcast.
Great podcast.
Thank you very much. And we do some live comedy stuff too. But it really feels like in the past like 2 years, everything's been moving forward in a weird way, and it's just like it's kind of it is a struggle to stay on top of everything. But so far, it's all been okay. Everything is coming to heads at different times, where it's like, oh, this film project or this music project or this comedy thing, this podcast thing. Everything's been okay. I haven't had to say no to anything, but I definitely take on too much work right now. It's all right.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're young.
Yeah. Got to make hay while the sun shines, right?
Yeah.
So while the opportunities are there, you do it.
Speak about making hay.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You the video shit for Telling Steve Dave, man. That's huge.
Dude, yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome. I love doing it. We came out with Elephants in the Room earlier this summer, which was kind of the biggest one we've done, the game show. And I had I was the editor on that, which was great. And then Walt and I wrote Scream Baron Scream, the trailer that was part of it. That was kind of like a big hit with everybody. They just loved that.
Jesus. That's all
Yeah.
everybody talked about was the trailer
Dude.
on that.
Oh, you want to hear a little behind the scenes stuff on that? Because it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Share away.
So, me and Walt were talking already because the way I kind of like weaseled my way into Tell 'em Steve Dave was that they were doing these live shows that they rarely do. Walt doesn't like to perform live.
Right.
And they're doing these live shows. I went to the
Bell House one in Brooklyn. Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah, and I watched it, and that was the one where they found out that Gedim's dad stabbed someone to death or something,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And I'm watching it, and I'm like, why are they not filming these? If they're doing them so rarely, they should be filming them. And I do my podcast, and we've done them live in Providence, and I'll film them with let's say a 3-camera shoot, sometimes a 4-camera shoot. And I had actually reached out to Walt before that. And I have zero connection to these guys. I have no ins. I just wrote to his Gmail that they talk about in the podcast all the time. And I was like, hey, man, I'd love to come film this Bell House show. And he wrote back to me. He's always polite. He was just like, oh, thank you for the offer. That's very kind. Whatever. I never talked to him before. I didn't know. That's fine. Then after I went to the Bell House show, I was like, they're doing another show in New York at the Gramercy Theater this summer. They should be filming these shows. Whatever they want to do with it, they could put it up on YouTube if they want. They could sell it if they want. They should be filming them. And I wrote him again. No answer, I don't think. Honestly, as I remember, couldn't get through to anybody. I went on the Impractical Jokers webpage and found their manager's email. And I emailed the Impractical Jokers manager, and I said, I want to come film this thing. And I think it went 6 weeks without an answer. Then the week of, they were like, do you want to come film it? You can come film it. They were like, here's how much money we can pay you. Can you put together a crew? And I had 2 days.
A week to go.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly,
Jesus.
It was 2 days at that time. And I had a house fire. I lost a lot of my film equipment. So I went to Best Buy and spent $2,500 to rent film equipment because they have a 45-day return policy with no restocking fees.
Yeah.
And I got my girlfriend, my girlfriend Gina, and my buddy Brad, who does a podcast. I gave them a quick lesson in shooting, and we went down to it was at the Gramercy, so it was in Manhattan, I guess. And we set up the shoot, and we did the shoot. It was really weird. I actually didn't talk to them for 8 months after that because Declan was working on the audio. And they told me, when Declan has the finalized audio, he'll send it to you and you can start editing, because I wouldn't be able to edit until I got the finalized audio so I could edit it all together.
Now, if you had that audio, would you have just got it done right away?
Pretty much, yeah, because I actually started the project right when I got back, and I synced everything up, and I'm like, I can't move forward with this without the audio.
Right.
And so 8 months later, this is actually really strange. I was doing a prank on my friend, and the prank was, this is going to sound bizarre, but the prank was, I realized a long time ago that you can basically go on white pages and look up random addresses. I could look up, Jim Johnson in Pennsylvania, and it'll find whoever that is and give me an address. So I had started doing these pranks where I'd get Christmas cards printed up with my friend's face on them, personalized Christmas cards, and I'd find random people across the country and write messages, fucked up messages on these Christmas cards and send them out to random people.
Genius.
Right? Isn't that so good?
It's great.
Then we would debut the pranks live in front of an audience and show the person for the first time. And I will have, at this point in time, I would have a correspondence with the people because I put an email address on the postcard. They write back to me. They're like, what the fuck is this? And we go back and forth. It's so good. It's such a great prank. I'm hoping to go on the Impractical Jokers cruise to perform because I have a new one like that that's mind-blowing. It's amazing. But anyway, so we did this to my friend with fake funeral invitations for his grandmother that I made.
Oh my god!
I heard about this.
And so
where did I hear have you told this story before?
I mean, I might have told it on our podcast. I might have talked about it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, you did. I know the story, but that's cool. No one else does. Carry on.
But it was for a fake grandmother. It wasn't for his real grandmother. I made up one. The kid's name was Eric Maxud. He was my lead guitarist, and we made up this character Noni Maxud. Sent out these fake funeral invitations, and they would say stuff like, one of the easiest ones to kind of explain the whole prank is I wrote, to a guy named let's say Jim. I wrote, "Dear Jim, they're saying that Noni's death was a suicide, and that's what you better fucking say too." Stuff like that, right? All these different postcards. We sent out 100 to 100 random people as a thing. So we were doing this prank, and I sent one to the secret stash, addressed to the guys, and I said, "Hey man, we're doing this prank. I'm glad, we're doing the Gramercy project together. I'm psyched for it to move forward. Talk to you guys soon." And Walt reached out to me, and he wrote, first thing, genius prank. It's second thing, when I saw this, I thought it was literally a Tell 'em Steve Dave fan trying to get Quinn to come to their grandmother's funeral, and I was like, I can't believe these motherfuckers are so desperate to meet Quinn. But that prompted me and Walt to start talking, and he got me the audio, and that moved Gramercy forward. So when that eventually came out, he was super happy with everything. I did all the artwork. I did every single thing that had to do with that Blu-ray release. He was super happy with it. He said he wanted to film this game show project, Elephants in the Room, but he's like, we left these commercial breaks in with no plans of what to do with the commercial breaks. I don't know what we're gonna do. He's like, I was thinking about getting listeners to send in commercials.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if people will do it or how to stay on top of it. And I said, I'll take over that. I was like, I'll run that. Don't worry about it. And I did, and everyone sent in a lot of commercials. It was great. Everyone was very supportive. They did such a good job. The Tell 'em Steve Dave listeners killed it, right? They killed it.
My voice is on one of those commercials.
Which one?
The one that Chunder Tunes did. It's an animated one where they're at the hockey arena.
Yes, that one's awesome. I love that one. That was great.
Pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see the video. He just said, "Hey, can you do this?" And I went, "Can I improv it a little?" And he goes, "Yeah." But I didn't know how long the video was or anything. So it's there's a lot of really cool stuff that got clipped out, And I wish he would have sent it back to me, and so I could have clipped it out,
yeah.
But I mean, it turned out good anyway, so I can't.
Yeah, it turned out great. But when we were deciding to do it that way, Walt was like, he's like, let's do a commercial for a fake Baron von Flanagan movie project. And he sent me that crazy old Mexican monster movie with all the clips he wanted to use. And, I watched it, and he was watching it, and he was sending me all of his like timestamps of stuff he wanted to use. And he said, come down to the stash and we'll shoot this whole thing. And so I went there and we shot all the stuff of the Baron like getting ready and putting on his hat and putting on the necklace and everything. But then we just shot random clips. Like it was like him and Sunday Jeff as Dollar Shave walking down the street. Then it was Walt throwing a, Byron Von Flanagan throwing a spear and shooting a gun because it lined up with footage. But when I got it home, I went to go edit it, and I'm like, there's no plan for this footage. Like, we planned, like, oh, there's this part, so we'll film this, and there's this part, so we'll film this. But we never really put it together. And I talked to Walt, and he wanted to keep the music 100% from that monster movie. So all I had was the music from it, which, by the way, was super hard to get because we were just pulling it from this movie. So if it had dialogue over it, we had to nix that part and just find the music from different parts. So it was this really strange project where I'm like, I spent a lot of time making it feel authentic in terms of making the footage look like it belonged with the original footage. And I think I'm very happy with how that came out.
Yeah.
It looks super authentic. But then the challenge became, well, how do I link these things together? And that's where I came up with the subtitles idea, where I'm like, oh, we just pull these quotes from people that are in Spanish, throw them on whatever part, and I'll make up whatever subtitles I want. And so that project, we shot that in October, and I don't think I had a finished product on that until maybe March because we didn't know what to do, and we were kind of inching along. Plus, I was working on the other commercials and actually Elephants in the Room itself.
But you pushed it with your own creativity too, right? I mean, you just weren't waiting for Walt's direction. You basically created.
I kind of, behind the scenes, I'm the one that was like, wait, what do we do with this footage? And I basically figured out everything from there. Like, I came up with the subtitles thing. I sent it to Walt. I'm like, do you want to go in this direction? And he flipped out and he loved it. So after we filmed, it was all me coming up with stuff. I wrote all the subtitles and all the stuff after that for like the story of that headless guy and all this stuff.
Oh, that's
putting his
fucking
head
sweet.
back on. It's weird, right? Walt wrote that beginning, and to be honest, he wrote a whole narration for that beginning that there's footage of me and Walt in the stash recording him doing the voiceover, and then he just didn't like it. He completely changed his mind, and I'm the voiceover in that whole like the Baron, that whole thing is just me. And I actually did that into my phone. That was originally placeholder audio, and then we all fell in love with it and we kept it.
There's a lot of great podcasts that just use phones.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
It is.
But yeah, that was that was awesome because it was eventually it was all me. After we shot that stuff, then I was able to put a lot of my own creativity in it. So it was an awesome project. I love the Scream trailer.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing a full-length movie like that, which would be fucking a real task.
That would take some time.
Yeah, it would take a lot of time. But then the Patreon came up, and so I think the film direction is going to go in a little bit more digestible chunks because they want to do like 3 every 2 months. It's 3 film projects every 2 months. So they're going to be smaller.
That's big.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. We have the first one's done. I actually just sent it to Brian on Monday. So it's all done, and I don't know when it's going to drop yet.
I'm so glad that Patreon's working out for these guys right now, man.
Dude,
crazy. I mean, I'm just fucking doing the math in my head,
I
just at
know.
the fucking $5 level. It's like, holy shit.
Exactly. That's 100% true. It's crazy.
And they deserve it, dude. Because those guys, I mean, anytime I've ever gone into the stash, me and my wife try to get up there once a year and stuff. Dude, Walt's just the coolest guy, dude. I mean, there's no egos.
Honestly, like, I've been doing creative stuff for a long time in terms of comedy, film, music. And like Brian and Walt are both like of the top people in terms of people who have been positive and encouraging and thankful, and they're awesome. And they're awesome. It's crazy. Yeah, and on top of that, I think that people often can like artists can be like, oh, I just do this, and they'll set their own thing, and they'll just either be just a band or just a comedian or whatever it is. But they've really created a world where they can do anything. They can do anything they want, and everyone just likes their personalities and their relationships. And so a Patreon is perfect for them. If they want to do a game show, they can. If they want to do a ghost hunter thing, they can. If they want to do a horror thing, they can. It's crazy. It's amazing. I love it.
If they want to buy a bunch of land and really start a TSD town, they can.
Yeah, exactly.
They can.
Yeah, exactly. They
That's
really
probably
can.
it's probably a 5-year plan to have a theme park.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think they're the perfect people to be part of Patreon because they can really come up with different stuff all the time. It's easy. I'm hoping to move there to work on stuff more often. I want to work on Impractical Jokers. I want to be able to write for Impractical Jokers and work on film stuff with Tell 'em Steve Dave for the Patreon.
Well, okay, then I have to ask. Would you rather work with the Impractical Jokers on their show or work with the Baron von Flanagan on his movie?
If I had to choose one, it would probably be Impractical Jokers because I'm 34 and I need to work on like real credits and career movement.
Wow, that's a nice cut there.
Well, it's you know it's a legitimate comedy phenomenon. But I'd love to work on the Baron film, and it's hard because any step towards working on Impractical Jokers, I think, would be a step towards being able to work with Tell 'em Steve Dave in a bigger way as well. Which is honestly my text with Brian. Like we've broken down the barriers of like just meeting and just becoming to know each other. So like I literally texted Brian last week and I was like, listen, you just gotta pressure Q to hire me on Practical Jokers so that I can come and move to New York, New Jersey, whatever, and work on Patreon video stuff with you guys. You know, what I mean is like any step towards working on Impractical Jokers would be a step with me working with Tell 'em Steve Dave even more. I don't think I'd ever have to pick, but if I had to pick, I really would like a legitimate writing paycheck. And Tell 'em Steve Dave does take care of me really well. They really do. But it's sporadic. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
I'd love to work on both. I'd love to work on both.
Did they set a price for you, or did they just say, hey, how much you want for this?
They just ask me, but it's honestly I'm always like I'm not a good negotiator when it comes to stuff that I love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like hey, listen, here's how much it makes sense for me to get paid for this, but whatever you guys want, I'll do it. You know, if you want, this is a little behind the scenes. I don't know if I should say this, but I'll say it. I don't care. I was quoted like a certain price to work on Gramercy and then separately Elephants. Mm-hmm. And in both cases, Walt sent me a bigger check just because of the job that I did.
Well, that speaks a lot about the character of Walt too, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He is always extremely, extremely considerate of the amount of work that I put in. Like he never misses a chance to let me know that he appreciates it and say thank you. And it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. One more question.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
as many as you want.
There'll be a lot more questions.
yeah.
Would you rather have a loudspeaker on the top of your head that plays out every single inner thought you have, or find out that all your friends and family are just paid actors?
I guess the first one.
Every thought that goes in your head, everybody gets to hear it. It comes out of a loudspeaker on top of your head.
You want to know? Here's one of my like
nice ass. I'm gonna get slapped a lot.
one of my like strong beliefs is the more someone hides, the more of a piece of shit they are.
I agree.
So I feel like most of my thoughts come out, and I can defend most of them, I think, pretty well.
I'm one of those people that just doesn't really have a working filter, so they come out anyway.
Hey, there you go.
I mean, there are certain things that I just don't say.
I'll say the nice ass. You just gotta phrase it in a nice way. What a beautiful posterior. See, that's great. That's actually this is funny. So I'm in Providence. I'm actually a food writer for multiple magazines in Providence. I'm big into the food scene here. We have an excellent food scene because of the universities around here, and a combination of RISD, which is like the best design school in the country. There's a girl that actually is part of the food scene here. Her Instagram, I'll plug her Instagram. It's Buns and Bites, and she's just a hot girl with a big hot ass, and she goes to all the restaurants and takes pictures of their food next to her ass, and that's it. And it's a huge like phenomenon. But me and her work together all the time. She helps me plug stuff, and she's part of this.
That's fucking nuts, dude. I was just turned on to somebody else who's doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Just to hear this woman chew.
Yeah, Chew. Yeah. Oh, I've seen it when she has like big plates and she sits down and then she'll eat.
And it's just close-ups of her mouth chewing.
I will say she eats a weirdly large amount of food, right? She'll be like, I'm going to eat 8 donuts, and she'll eat 8 donuts.
Is she large or is she like this petite thing?
No, I think she's like a smoking hot Asian chick.
Yeah, she's a very thin Asian girl.
She's fucking bulimic.
I don't know. I don't know what she is.
I'm calling it.
She can take that food down, though. But yeah, look up
But
Buns
that's
and
all,
Bites.
all it is just chewing.
Her next YouTube show will be her puking up all those donuts.
Yeah.
I am a little bit shocked at how she stays thin, or she eats that much food. Even this is the Buns and Bites Instagram. If you want to look it up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my loudspeaker on my head would be going off.
That's a great ass.
She's a wonderful girl. She sells her own tights through her Instagram that she made because of this. It's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing. It's crazy.
Are they like sanitized tights so you can like put food on them and shit?
She had me and Brad come on and do a shoot with her in our own tights.
Oh, I love it.
This was promotion for our comedy show, and she got like 1,000 likes on this picture for us.
Fuck
so
yeah, dude. There you
it's
go.
It's a helpful promotional tool, man. You know. So, anyways, I think you can say whatever you like. I told her, I'm like, hey, you know, I explain her Instagram with a lot of respect. She's a very hot girl with a big hot ass. That's very nice. That's a great thing to say. What a compliment.
Speaking about big asses, I'm going
Yeah.
to play one of your songs right now.
Hell yeah.
It's Explode Rhode Island, and
Yes.
it's going to be the Big Mac version.
Yes. I love that. Yes, that's great.
Please welcome back to the Cult of Dave's virtual soundstage with their song Explode Rhode Island. It's senior discount.
We'll grind our teeth till it comes for you. There's no relief inside, no flagship to pull us through. The crosshairs, they've all locked in and out. Take aim, knowing that Rhode Island doesn't fall without a fight. Rhode Island doesn't fall without a fight. Our callous hands, they're callous to rejection, and we play on never changing our direction. Dear Tabitha, you've never left my head, but boys and girls, it's true. The Rhode Island music scene is far from dead. From every broken club, you'll hear us play. You'll never break us down while our lungs fill up with blood. We'll say, fucking explode, explode Rhode Island. From Providence out to Narragansett Bay. Explode Rhode Island. The V-dub has so much left to say. Explode Rhode Island. Will put us back up on the map. Explode Rhode Island. Fuck the world, cause the art scene is back. Like a Big Mac. This is our home. Our fans and family through all the rights and wrongs. Without them, there's no me. The cadence keeps a mobilizing beat through the ocean state. We'll rise storm the streets. From every broken club, you'll hear us play. You'll never break us down while our lungs fill up with blood. We'll say, fucking explode, explode Rhode Island. From Providence out to Narragansett Bay. Explode Rhode Island. The V-dub has so much left to say. Explode Rhode Island. Will put us back up on the map. Explode Rhode Island. Fuck the world, cause the art scene is back. Explode Rhode Island. 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 From Providence out to Narragansett Bay. special sauce. Lettuce, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 more beef patty, special sauce. Lettuce, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
We recorded that in the studio where we did the regular version without the Big Mac outro. And we had been doing that in practice, and I'm like, let's just release 2 versions. Let's just do it and release the 2 versions. I'm like, it's like a fun thing for people who like the band, you know?
And that's on the Goodbye album, right?
Yeah, it's on And That's Goodbye.
And That's
But that was
Goodbye.
released as a 5-track EP in 2009, and then we did a deluxe version last year where it was 10 tracks, and we expanded it and included the Big Mac version of Exploded Island on
Well, if
it.
you're going to call it a deluxe, I mean, you got to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Ataxia was on previous album too, and you released that. There's a couple songs on this new album that have been on other albums.
That's right. Yeah. So basically, the way that we looked at this album, it's really interesting. So our first album was 16 songs, and they're kind of all over the place. I mean, that's really when we were finding footing as a band. And what happens a lot too when you're in a band is you don't have a lot of money, and so it's hard to record everything. So what happens is you start recording things kind of piecemeal. So you'll do 3 songs, and then you'll do 2 songs, and then you'll do 3 more songs. And honestly, everything we've released so far has been like that. All of our albums previous to this were very varied. And I don't mind that. I like that. But I do think that marketing-wise, it's probably easier to have, let's say, like an introductory product from a band be pretty specific. Like Senior Discount is this type of band, and they don't want to have a million different types of tracks that go in all directions. So when we made this new album, which is called The Best Revenge on Paper and Plastic Records, we were like, let's really give people a full picture of what Senior Discount is that fits into kind of what we believe is the heart of what we are, which is fast, energetic, fun punk rock. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because Exploded Island and I'm Crazy, those versions on The Best Revenge actually weren't released on anything until last year. They're on And That's Goodbye Deluxe, and it does list it as 2009, but that deluxe version didn't come out until last summer, and those 2 songs were unreleased up until last summer.
Okay.
So yeah, I know
right.
it's weird. It's weird. So I'm Crazy and Exploded Island are kind of newer tracks in terms of released. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then Ataxia and Nothing's Left were from our first album. But those 4 songs, which are the 4 older songs that we pulled onto this new album, were like, those are important for just like setting the stage of who we are. And the 2 releases previous to this are what I would call regional releases and independent releases that didn't get around as much. And because this is our first label release and our first national release, we wanted to keep those songs on there because we feel like it kind of just shows you what the band is in a great way.
All right, good. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I know. I see a lot of people doing it now too.
Yeah, and it's also like, one of those things that happens now is like before when you were pressing CDs or even, cassettes, and before that 8-tracks and records, the actual distribution aspect was expensive. Now the distribution aspect doesn't cost anything. Like if you guys recorded an acoustic album tomorrow, the distribution to get it on iTunes would probably cost you $45. It would probably cost you $45 to get it on iTunes. So now, if you write a song that you love, and then after your band plays it for 2 years, you've changed a lot of it, you feel like you added harmonies or made this part better. Dude, if you have the money to go record it and put it on another album, because it's not going to cost anything to put it back out. And all these people that are listening to it get the better version. Plus, how many people are subscribing to services like Spotify, iTunes, whatever, where they have an unlimited streaming service? So in a lot of cases, they don't even have to pay for the new song. They just stream the newer version that's on the new release.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
It's terrible for artists, but in terms of convenience is always going to win over what's going to happen to like how people get paid. We've been in the band for years. I honestly, I don't mind saying this, I don't make any money from the band. I've never made any money from the band, ever. It is terrible for artists because it's manipulating the idea of ownership in streaming. And ownership in streaming used to be a different thing. Now it's not a different thing. Now, even with the streaming apps, you can actually download the songs to your phone. And even when you don't have access to internet, you're listening to them, and it's still considered streaming. So what happens is you get paid 1/100th of a penny every time someone streams
Right.
your song. You know?
Well, that's interesting because earlier in this episode, when me and Jerry are just fucking bullshitting, we
Yeah.
came up with this fucking idea of a new podcast. It's a little quick 10-minute podcast that'll be like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
And it's called The Morning Growler. So you can just take your, while you're taking your morning shit, you can just listen to this fucking Morning Growler show.
Yeah.
And, by the time the show's over, your poop's done.
That's the actual sales pitch about it. Don't listen to it any other time other than when you're taking your
Man,
shit.
I love shitting, but I don't have anything to listen to.
It
And this is
enhances your experience right
I
there.
used to always read, and, it's like, well, let's do a little fanzine that audio.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, we debuted the show earlier on this show, but we were talking about Childish Gambino
Gambino, yeah.
and how his record label is suing him for taking over $700,000 in streaming revenue.
Oh, really? I don't even know about this. I don't even know about
Well,
this.
we like to keep people informed.
Thank you very much. What does that mean? He took it. How does
I don't
that
know.
happen?
We're trying to figure it out, too. Because, okay, you're on paper and plastic, right?
Yes.
Are they pressing anything like CDs or vinyl or anything like that?
Honestly, they focus on physical items with their albums, and they focus on vinyl a lot of the time. And what they're doing for us is that we're going essentially 100% digital with this album, but they are producing resin mini skulls based on the album artwork that are
Right.
limited edition that actually come with a key that goes in the back that has a USB drive that has the album digitally on it.
Oh, that's fucking
Wicked cool, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
and
really
I
cool.
saw the skull, and the skull looks really cool, too. It's very,
Right, yeah.
It's very Terminator-y, very futuristic.
And it looks it goes right with the album art. I really like it. It's really cool if you're interested. Look up Paper and Plastic Records. If you go to their store online, you can buy one. They're super limited. I think there's 33 left right now.
Okay.
But that's the only thing that we're physically making for the album.
So how are they getting paid?
How is the record label getting paid?
Yeah.
I guess what's going to happen. I know this sounds crazy. If you want, I'll tell you some background. No contracts are signed between us and the record label.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
There you
That's
go.
my kind of label.
Well, there's a famous record label called Fat Records, owned by Fat Mike from NoFX, and all of their record deals are handshake deals. With this, what's going to happen is the revenue is going to come in from streaming or purchase or whatever, and it's going to go to the label, and then they're going to filter it out to us. So what generally happens with record labels is they invest a certain amount of money into your album, and let's say, this is just hypothetical numbers, 50% of what comes in from making the album might go to them to pay off what they let you borrow, and 50% might go to the artist, and then they make maybe a percentage on top of that as what helps them and makes them continue to function.
Did they pay for your recordings?
They actually didn't pay for our recordings. We paid for our recordings first, and we pitched it to them, and that was honestly a selling point, I think. I mean, this is kind of a good advice for bands, is if you believe in what you're doing and you think you have a good product, pay for it to get done, and then shop it to record labels and say, hey, guess what? If you pick up our record, you don't have to pay for it. We just get to work with you, and you get this great product. And they did pay for the mastering of the album, and they're paying for all the distribution. They're paying for all the production of the skulls and everything. But if you do that, I mean, it's a great thing because they're not on the hook for that much money, and they might take a chance on a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is what happened with us. So they actually didn't have to pay for us. So the amount of money that we would technically owe them, or that the release would owe them, is pretty minuscule. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
So-
can't remember, was that Childish Gambino? I think his label had produced the album. It never directly said how he got, it was like over, 700,000?
Yeah, 700,000.
See, it's so
And-
interesting.
And streaming royalties were sent to him.
Okay. All right, ready? I got this article. It says Childish Gambino is not actually being sued by Glassnote Records. Glover owns the masters. It says, despite previous reports, it turns out Glassnote Records is not actually suing Childish Gambino after all. Court documents cited by Billboard Tuesday related to the 3 albums Gambino released under Glassnote show that the issue between the celebrated multi-hyphenate and his former label centers on a dicey contract dispute related to $700,000 in digital performance royalties from non-interactive streaming services. According to Billboard, Donald Glover owns his master recordings and actually licensed them to Glassnote for a period of time. As such, Gambino's team is reportedly looking to acquire the label's 50% cut of royalties. The label disagrees with this approach, alleging that the master's license itself gives them the right to the cut. The label has filed a complaint seeking a judge to mediate the contract dispute. So in other words, they're disagreeing about, I guess, what the label is owed for distributing his songs.
Yeah.
I guess. And I wonder where that goes first. Like, does it go to, like, that's the question is, does the money go to Childish Gambino and then he pays the record label, or does the money go to the record label and then they pay Childish Gambino?
Apparently, it went to Gambino first, or the record company wouldn't have ever said anything in the beginning.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So that must be what it is.
Does it come off as being somewhat shady? So, like, if you work with a label and then they distribute your music out to so many, sources.
Right.
But if you take that same music and you're just like, hey, they never fucking got it over here. I want to go distribute it myself over here.
Yeah.
And then this streaming service says, well, hey, thanks. We'll send the checks to you.
Yes.
But then your distributor over here is like, hey, what the fuck? We're still owed money on stuff.
That's actually happening kind of right now with our album. No one's upset, but basically, like Bandcamp is a website that it's really, really successful, and it's run by people who are artists. So like, if my band's called Senior Discount, and we independently would just contact Bandcamp and put our album out on there, and people can just download it really easily, and they get artists like something like $40 million a year overall, or something like that, some crazy cut. But because of that, Paper and Plastic Records doesn't have to do anything for Bandcamp. So our album is up on every streaming service, including Bandcamp, but that's just for me. So if you buy the album on Bandcamp, the money goes straight to me. But if you buy it anywhere else, the money goes through Paper and Plastic and then comes to us eventually.
Gotcha.
So go to Bandcamp, kids.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it probably has to do with the type of relationship you have with your record company and how successful you are. That's the other thing. When you're Childish Gambino, it's a big deal.
So your record company, they're cool with that, though, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. I could ask Vinny. I mean, he's the drummer of Less Than Jake, and he owns Paper and Plastic Records. And Paper and Plastic has put out albums by big people. Like, they put out albums by Anti-Flag, Chuck Reagan, I believe Chuck Reagan, Fun. Fun is a huge band.
Yeah.
And Vinny is the main person in charge, and he's been, directly in contact with me. And honestly, if I had to gauge his response, he'll be like, yeah, whatever. Like, when we had to get it mastered, I was like, hey, we want to remaster the older tracks with the newer tracks, like, before the album came out. I'm like, it's going to cost this much. Can you pay for that, or do you want us to pay for that? He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll send you a check. So it's very...
Wow, that guy's very backseat, man.
Well, at the time that we were doing this, we were putting the album together, he was on tour with Less Than Jake in Puerto Rico. So
he was on tour in Puerto Rico, like what, traveling from one beach to the other? I mean, Puerto Rico's not that big. It's like, hey, are you guys going on a Rhode Island tour? You can jog around Rhode Island, right?
Does he ever take a review of the stuff before it goes out? Does he personally that mix just ain't jiving with me? Can you guys go mix that one more time?
Yeah, I mean, he made he made a couple comments about kind of what songs we should push first and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we have a song called Cindy on the album, and it's easily our most poppy song. It would fit in with singles like What's My Age Again from Blink-182. There's another song called Afterlife. It's probably our darkest song. It fits in a lot more with like Alkaline Trio.
That's actually the next song I'm going to play. Please welcome to the Cod Pod virtual soundstage with their song Afterlife. It's
Senior Discount, kids.
was like, hey, I think you guys, instead of pushing Cindy up front, I think you should push Afterlife.
I think that's a great song.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud of Afterlife.
I agree with that dude. I would have said push this before Cindy.
And I love that song. It's definitely written as a pop single, which is, good for mainstream radio. But, we're not really jumping to mainstream radio. We're jumping to trying to be, an up-and-coming punk band. So Afterlife probably makes more sense as a song that's like a respectable, well-written punk rock song.
Yeah.
And it's dark. It's a dark song. It's a really dark song. I mean, it starts on E minor. You know what I mean? So it's a dark one.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
E minor.
I know. My happy songs are in E minor. You don't do a lot of videos, though, and you're a video guy.
I've been working on the Tell 'em Steve Dave video projects consistently since, I guess, 2016. Like when it was probably May. No, it was probably last year. It was probably April 2017 is where we really got into Gramercy stuff. But that whole time, I had a house fire in 2015 that destroyed my home and a lot of the stuff that I owned. And also, we've been consistently doing senior discount stuff that whole time too. It sucks because the truth is we've done a lot of stuff that we've filmed that I'm really proud of. Like we have a lot of live stuff that we filmed with 4 to 5 camera angles. And it just comes down to a thing where it's like, I haven't had the time to work on it yet. On top of Tell 'em Steve Dave stuff, I've actually been working on a TV show that is still a secret project that I've been working on since October that I've never worked as hard on anything as I've worked on this TV show. This TV show had like $20,000 behind the filming of it, of just the first 2 episodes, and they hired me as an editor.
What channel?
Well, we have no idea. That's the thing. It's being pitched. It's being produced independently.
Oh, okay,
gotcha.
cool.
The producer of the Back in Time documentary and the Ghost Heads documentary is the producer of this television show.
What's it about?
I can't give any details away. I know. That sucks.
So do it.
If I told you the concept, you guys would be like, fuck yeah, that's an awesome concept. I'm so happy with the concept. I'll tell you guys off air. There's a national comedian who is in it. He's on the smaller side. He's awesome. He's had a documentary on Hulu and stuff like that.
Oh, shit. He's got Pittsburgh Dad.
I don't know what that is. He's great. He's on Stand Up Records, so he's a good comedian, and he's the main guy. We're working on it together.
Right on.
And it's going to come out. We're really hoping for a premiere next, well, I guess it's 3rd week of September. I can't really talk about it, but we're hoping that that's when it's going to premiere. And we're going to pitch it at festivals and stuff like that. But my editing time has been taken up past 100%, causing stressful problems in my relationship.
Is that your main gig, editing?
It's honestly, it's kind of all split between video stuff, podcast stuff, live comedy stuff, the band. And then I have a day job that I do 2 days a week, and it's accounting for a landscaping company. Just to pay the bills.
Random. That's so random.
So many pies.
And I'm a writer. I'm a food writer as well. So
Who brought you in?
the main comedian.
Damn, I'm trying to work my questions around to have you slip.
Son of a bitch. Guy's good. Locked tight.
No, it's gonna be good. I really, if we get the premiere that we want and it's at the place we want, it's gonna be pretty amazing. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really excited for you, man. You're a straight stand-up cool cat, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I thought your spot on Tell 'em Steve Dave was really good.
Thank you.
I mean, what an honor to come in and fill the chair of Q. I mean,
Fuck
I
yeah,
know.
dude.
I know. I feel like I texted Walt and Brian right after I left it. I'm like, dude, I feel like I wasn't as funny as I could have been, because they have a real back and forth rhythm that's hard to jump in on.
Yes.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those guys
so,
have been friends forever. So
Yeah, absolutely. And they were like, dude, we loved the episode. That was awesome. They're like, people are going to love this episode. And it seems like everyone did really like the episode a lot. And maybe, honestly, they'd rather have the guest not be in it the whole time and kind of just be there sporadically at first, because everyone loves the guys so much. Mm-hmm. So maybe that was a good way to introduce me, where I kind of, I interjected here and there, and then I told that big story at the end, which is going to be my legacy. And maybe that was a good way to introduce me to the kind of the world of the listeners. So thank you very much. So I'm glad that everyone liked it, because it did
It's
seem
a
like
great
everyone
way
was
to
fun.
break yourself into getting roasted.
Yeah,
They do so
exactly.
many ball busting on everybody. It's just like,
Are invited to the next roast, which needs to be videoed.
Yeah, right. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to film it.
Who was your favorite guest spot to fill in Q's chair?
I mean, I thought that I think
gotta
everyone
say
did a good job. I would have to take myself out of the running. And I think in terms of having a unique episode, the Frank 5 episode was awesome, right? Mm-hmm. It was so cool. They went to his house and they loved all the stuff that he had, and he was just all over it. So that was really fun. I mean, everyone did a great job. Everyone did a great job.
I like
You know?
Troy. Troy's was my
Yeah,
favorite.
Troy.
Troy was great, yeah.
Can't wait till that guy fucking retires, man.
Yeah.
That guy will become fucking legendary.
That will
Yeah.
be if him and Brian start a podcast. That will be
know.
fucking
Oh shit!
Amazing.
His voice is perfect for it. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. He has a really funny voice. He has a great voice for like what his character is. You know.
Yeah.
It's really really funny.
Like, what did he say in the fucking in Getham's wedding where he was like, you look like Mr. Peanut if Mr. Peanut had a peanut allergy.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the
that
greatest
was great.
line. I was fucking laughing for like 7 days on that. Every time I rewind it and listen to it,
God.
just start laughing.
So funny.
I love that guy, dude.
He's so funny. When I was I did the edit, the final edit, I should say, on the graphics and stuff for the wedding episode because it was a bonus on the Gramercy
Right.
Blu-ray, and I was trying to figure out because whatever team shot it, it had been shot a long time before that, and they kind of did like an edit on the main body of it. But Walt's like, yeah, you need to figure out a good ending for it because there's not really a logical ending, and you know. What's his name? LCD Sound System had that acoustic version of that Get 'Em song. Mm-hmm. And I put it over the end, and I put up those titles with Get 'Em and the wife cutting the cake and how they never talked again. And I sent it to Walt. I'm like, this is the right choice for comedy, but I feel like a fucking asshole for doing this. Because like it's if you're part of this group of people, you gotta be down to like kind of make fun of Get 'Em and make fun of Ming and Mike. And I feel bad not, just meeting them and kind of being like that. But I'm like, as the person in charge of these film projects, that's going to be the right choice a lot of the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And with that finalized moment of that wedding thing, it's like heartbreakingly sad and so meanly funny. And I felt so bad. And I sent it to Walt, and I was like, obviously, we're not going to go in this direction, but this is really funny. And he's like, we have to go in that direction. And I was like, oh, my God.
Dude, that was so fucking awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a great ending to this
Right?
whole fucking
I
thing.
know. I know. I felt so bad.
How many followers did you get after that?
I honestly, not even that many. I think, I don't even think I had much of a bump. Maybe like a couple hundred here and there. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. A couple hundred.
Couple, though.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
notice. I didn't notice. I mean,
Well, if I went
Chump
from
change.
if I went from like 1700 to 1850,
I don't even know if I
don't know.
fucking follow you, man. Let me look.
I'll follow you right back right now, man. I'm happy to do it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm not honestly. I'm not great at the social media game.
Me either.
I'm happy to post fun stuff. I'm happy to comment, and I'm great at responding to people. But in terms of like, building your followers or whatever, like I don't really know what to do. What the hell are you supposed to do that? I don't know.
Now everybody's looking.
I know.
Do I
Everyone's-
follow this guy or not?
I know.
I don't think I do, dude. Oh, there you are. No, that's not you. I am not following you. Okay, I just followed you. Shit.
You just got what? You got one more follower.
Thanks, bud. I'll follow you guys right back.
Man,
I'll follow you guys right back.
Twitter's going off now. I did just block you though. I assume people unfollow me all the time because I see like every other day or someone's following me,
Yeah.
but it never grows. So people must be leaving.
You can get apps that will tell you if someone unfollows you, though. I don't have one, but you can do that.
Oh man, that sounds sad.
I know. It is sad.
Crazy.
I know it is.
You want to play a game real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, all right. It's a game called Shit for Brains. It's one of our sponsors here at the Cult of Dave. Now, if you like what you hear, you can go to www.shitforbrainsgame.com and pick up your own game. And with the promotional code CODPOD, that's CODPOD, one word, kids, you're going to get 10% off of that game of shit for brains. It comes with over 600 cards in 6 categories of some of the dumbest shit you've ever heard. So buckle up, it's time to play Shit for Brains. Brought to you by our fantastic friends at Hairbrain Design, straight to the Cult of Dave.
It's time to test our guest knowledge today. With questions deemed to be slightly insane. Will they have the insight to win this game? Or will they simply prove that they have shit for brains?
This segment is brought to you by Shit for Brains, a registered trademark game. Available at www.shitforbrainsgame.com.
So basically, Chuck, the principle of it is just this is a funner version of Trivia Pursuit.
Okay.
Way better version. The way we run the game on the episodes here is that always the guest goes first. You'll get a question. It's going to be worth 10 points. If you get it right, you obviously get your 10 points. But if you fuck it up, Dave can have the chance to steal it and snag your points.
We need to rework that. I think that if the steal should be worth more than 10 points. You know, it's like you get your 10 points, but if someone steals it, they get like 15.
Yeah. That raises the stakes.
But we'll just go 10. You know, we'll keep it metric here for Woody if he's listening.
All right, Chuck, first question up. The category is America. All right?
Got it. Yep.
Naive Americans. Since 1970, Native Americans have held a national day of mourning on what American holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Fuck, right out of the gate, bro.
I didn't even hear the question. So what was it now? The Native Americans hold a day of mourning?
Yeah, on one American holiday.
Oh, that makes
since 1970.
That makes total sense.
I do. I have a stand-up bit about that. I have a stand-up bit about the fact that like I want to continue to enjoy like Thanksgiving and stuff like that, but it's not cool anymore. You find out it represents like like genocide essentially.
Yeah.
My joke is basically that I say it represents genocide, but then I go, but turkey's pretty boss, you guys.
Turkey is pretty boss.
I love it, man.
Yeah. All right, sweet. 10 points.
Yeah.
Dave,
nice.
over to you.
Okay.
Next category is drugs, man.
Oh.
So do I get to steal it from him if he gets it wrong?
Yes.
If he gets it wrong, you get to steal it.
Am I gonna get my ass kicked?
I don't know. He fucking
This is my podcast.
Go back to your own podcast.
This one, the clue: marketing of the Beast. In the early 1980s, what American brewing company created a werewolf mascot named Beer Wolf?
Coors.
Okay, well, I don't need to read the rest of the question.
That's cool. I don't remember that. That's awesome. I like that.
What? Read the rest of the question. I'm sorry, that was so rude of me.
In the early 1980s, what American brewing company created a werewolf mascot named Beer Wolf to help promote beer sales at Halloween and then rebranded him as a ready-to-party jock who worked as a lifeguard?
I'm glad I went Coors real quick because that lifeguard thing might have fucking thrown me off. I don't remember
I was gonna say that sounds different than I pictured it. That's all right.
All right. No steal so far. Everybody's rocking them here.
Let's do it.
Chuck, back over to you. The category is bodily functions.
Perfect.
Pop-up book. What famed children's author wrote and illustrated a series of books about boners, including the title Boners, and More Boners, and Still More Boners, and Prize Boners, which were later compiled and published as The Pocketbook of Boners?
Damn. You said prize children's author?
Yep. What famed children's author wrote
Famed children's author.
and illustrated a series of books about boners, including Boners, More Boners, Still More Boners, and Prize Boners, which were later compiled and published as The Pocketbook of Boners?
All right. I'm just saying this because it's the only one that's popped in my head is Dr. Seuss. I have no idea, though.
Dr. Seuss, yeah.
Everybody
It's
knows
true?
that fucking, did you get a boner on a train? No, I got one on a plane. Did you get a boner?
I had
Yeah.
no idea. That's crazy.
Fucking nuts, dude.
That
Dr.
is
Seuss.
nuts. That's nuts.
Damn, I'm going to get my ass ass fucking kid.
Fuck, dude.
No, we're good. Right now, we're doing good.
Yeah,
you got 100%
doing good,
right. I
yeah.
got 100% right. We're
No
doing good.
fucking strikeouts. You don't have to put that little edit sound in now.
Well, I wouldn't have. I still have to get the fucking winning bell though. Ding ding ding.
Yeah, true.
I like that.
All right. The category is crime and death. Going over to Dave.
Okay.
Yep.
I swear. Okay?
Okay.
There's a town in Austria called fucking, population 104, where the only reported crime until 2005 was theft of what?
Virginity. Oh no! Here, and let me think. The only reported crime until 2005.
Until 2005. Well, then they upgraded. I'm sure somebody got stabbed. And
Right.
Town called fucking.
yeah, in Austria.
The street sign.
We'll have to go further. We'll go to the judges here.
You know, like welcome to fucking
I think we'll accept that. The town's road sign.
road sign. All right.
Fucking A, man. You guys are some smart motherfuckers. No shit for
Damn.
brains. Or do you have shit for brains?
I wouldn't have thought of that. That was good. That was real good.
All right. Chuck, going over to you. It's
Yes.
Nature Calls. Got a tie ball game here, 2020. Like hurting cats.
Hurting.
In pre-19th century France, okay?
Yeah.
In pre-19th century France, how were droves of cats used in public celebrations? Now, this is a multiple choice. So is it A, tossed and juggled amongst the crowd,
Juggled.
B, burned to onlookers' delight, C, dressed as royalty in mott, or D, placed in catapults?
All right. I'm going to rule out royalty. It's funny. I'm going to rule out juggling because it seems too difficult. So we're talking about burns or catapults.
In pre-19th century France.
I'm going to go burning because it seems like it's a lot easier to burn something than to set up a catapult. It seems like a pain in the ass.
Fucking good call, Chuck. Nailed it. Burned to onlookers' delights.
I would have
Damn.
totally went catapults, dude.
Yeah.
I could just
It just
see
seems
cats going, what? Wasn't there a question that they did catapult like goats or something before?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
It was what was the a blood sport in France that was celebrated or whatever, and it was fox tossing.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. They catapulted foxes. Fucking France.
Nuts over there, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Christ, dude, I'm kind of getting excited because we've never gone to a fucking tiebreaker before. This is fucking.
I've never
Wow.
had a
Good.
game where I didn't have to fucking edit in the fucking losing sound.
All right. The last question here. It's sexy time. Going over to Dave. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Mummy issues.
All right.
When a beautiful woman died in ancient Egypt,
Okay.
what would they do with her corpse to discourage necrophilia before sending it to the embalmer? Multiple choice. A, covered in cat urine. B, stuff the vagina with rags. C, hang it from a tall structure. Or D, let it rot in the sun for 3 days.
You just pull out the rags right quick. Who cares?
Yeah. I've heard this before. I'm pretty positive it's they let the bodies rot out there before they mummified them.
Got it.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to sudden death.
Fuck.
Damn.
Damn, this has never happened.
That's great.
Who gets to go first, though? I mean, let's flip a coin or something. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Let's
Ready?
try that one again.
All right.
We can do rock, paper, scissors. You ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Both scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, scissors cut paper. He wins.
All right.
I just never
All right.
stopped doing scissors. That's
That was my first rock, paper, scissors over Skype, by the way, just so you guys know.
we've done it before.
Oh, really? Wow. See, you seem
Never
like an
that
expert.
smoothly, though.
I hear you. I'm pretty proud of that.
I would be. You definitely have game.
Thank you.
So Dave will go first here.
Yeah.
This is basically just a winner takes all.
Yeah.
Again, same rules apply. If he fucks it up, Chuck, you can come in for the steal.
Nice.
If nobody gets it correct, then you both are proclaimed shit for brains. You will
Okay.
share the trophy
That's fair.
at the end there.
Okay.
All right, so the category on this one is going to be America. Dave,
Yes.
God-driven right.
Okay.
Americans can turn right at red lights thanks to which of the following? A. Invention of turn signals. B. 1973 oil crisis. C. Hurricane Agnes. Or D. National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act of 1966.
What was A?
A. Invention of turn signals.
No, that's stupid. It's either B or D. What year did it say the fuel thing was?
That is B. 1973 oil crisis.
1973. So I was like fucking 11. I remember that rule. 66, I was 2. So I'm gonna go with the fuel thing.
Which one are you going with? The 1973 oil crisis?
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you just kicked Chuck's ass.
Oh, I don't think I kicked his ass, dude. Fucking no wrong answers.
Damn.
That right there has been one of the best rounds of fucking shit for brains.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame moment.
Yeah, right. Damn, that was crazy. I didn't even get one wrong either, and I lost still.
No.
That's okay. Hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
But you set a new record for Cult of Dave.
That's true. I guess that's true.
We've never gone into sudden death.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
No.
Hey, that was great.
And we've never, everybody gets 1 or 2 questions wrong.
yeah, right. Damn, that was great.
Hey, after the interview, since you were a great fucking contestant, when we stop recording, send me your address and I'll send you an official New Pod World Order patch in the mail.
Hell yeah, I'd love that. Thank you very much. I'd love that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's great.
And I'll send you a game of shit for brains.
Yeah, will you?
No.
Oh, all right.
We gave you a promo code for 10%.
That's true. Hey, you did. That's true. That was great. That was really fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, dude. What's on the docket here for you? What's coming up right around the corner? What are you doing?
We just finished a new Tell 'em Steve Dave video that will drop on Patreon. Honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't already come out, but it'll be in the next couple days, I'm guessing. I hope that we get on the Impractical Jokers cruise with a comedy show. That'd be awesome. I'd love, dude, the follow-up to the funeral invitations prank is one with Brad where I tricked him into dressing up like a clown for our Halloween show to do flyers. And I sent out 100 fake ads for his clown service across the country, and they are fucking killer. They're so funny. They're so funny. Yeah, it's really, really funny. A lot of them were like him threatening to show up at different events and stuff like that.
Your commitment to a fucking prank is fucking legendary.
Thank you, man. You know what? You want to hear an amazing story? I'm going to say it right here. I'll say a shortened version of it that you guys are going to be wowed at. Last thing I'll say. I did a prank on Brad one time for Christmas. This is a couple years ago. And there was a porn star named Gage, right? And she had this thing on her website where she was like, you pay me $250 and I'll film a video of me masturbating and saying whatever you want. And I was like, I know this is funny somehow. And I was like, maybe we can get her to say something funny. And then I started thinking, I'm like, what if I just wrote a porn script about Brad, who, my buddy Brad, who I do the podcast with, the Chuck and Brad podcast, he's very conservative. So I was like, what if I just wrote a porno and it had all jokes about Brad and it had him as a character in it, like porn stars, like playing Brad and, a woman that he has sex with. And I went on the hunt and I found a woman and a guy who were willing to film it. And they wanted $100. And I wrote a 5-page script, and they filmed a porn of Brad with all of the script that I wrote of all inside jokes about Brad. And
Seriously?
it's fucking hilarious. It is
God.
fucking fun. Like, it was the only time I watched something and was laughing so hard they had to stop it because I was like throwing up. And so we did it. We screened it at our Christmas get together, which was like 14 of us. He was pissed. He didn't talk to me for days. He was not happy with it, but it was so funny. And there's actually a follow-up. I won't get into the follow-up story, but we showed it at a live event last year too, and it had some had some repercussions. That's all I'm gonna say. It had some repercussions.
Well, because did they film it like
it was porn.
Guys?
It was like close-up insertion porn.
Oh my God!
And I wrote so much funny shit in it. Like at one point, the girl's giving the guy a blowjob, and he goes, "Oh yeah, do you like my nutsack?" And she lifts up his dick and looks at it and goes, "No." It's so fucking funny. It is so fucking.
Holy fuck!
Oh, I want to see it so bad.
It's so funny. And the follow-up story is great too. I won't get into it, but the follow-up story is crazy. And we shot that whole thing. We shot that with like 4 angles, and it was live in front of an audience, and it was crazy. It was really, really funny. But yeah.
So did you film this?
Oh, did I film the porn?
Yeah.
No, she filmed it. I don't know.
Okay.
It was this woman. She's actually, if you go on Pornhub, she's on Pornhub. Her name is Sexy Melanie, and she's like an older lady. And she does a lot of porn where she pretends to be like a mom or something gross. And but yeah, she just plays a woman, and the guy played Brad, and it was all these inside jokes, stuff that I knew they didn't get. Like that nutsack one is just funny, but there's a lot of them that were inside jokes. They were just like all jokes about Brad, you know. And I was like, I know they don't get it, and she was super sweet about it. She was super nice about it.
And $100, dude.
I know.
$100.
11 of us put in $9 each, and I paid the extra $1 because I'm committed.
Oh man, that is classic.
Yeah, I love pranks.
Chuck,
Yes.
what's Cum Song about?
Please welcome back to the Cod Pod virtual soundstage with their song, Cum Song. It's Senior Discount!
Does the world change me? Is this the only thing I have? She said that she's sick of the masturbation. I have forgot to stop and laugh. If you know who you are, then I guess you're not far from the truth inside you. Now you know what to do. I can't be too happy. I can't find that real me, so that's it. Now I'm through. I got a different point of view. Then you're better. No, you're losing this game. Disappointment has planted my feet to the ground, and I'll be jumping when my world falls down. Do I break the mold, or does the mold break me? Never fitted in the end. I can't live up to all your expectations. Why laugh when we could cry instead? I'm not really enthused from the shit I've been through. I just hope that it ends so we can make amends. Like I said from the start, there's a hole in my heart. I give up and I'm through. I got a different point of view. Don't like what you become. Disappointment has planted my feet to the ground, and I'll be jumping when my world falls down. If you think that I'm gonna change, then you better
The reason it's called Come Song is because it opens with us going, come, 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 don't like what you've become. And then that's it. We call it. We said, what should we call this song? How about Come Song?
Yeah, it's like a song I wrote that was like this open E chord, and I'd like just, kind of, instead of playing a bar chord, I'd just slide it down in that open E thing and let the other things, and we called it the Big E because it was just like a big E chord. Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
It's like, how am I going to write a lyric about a big E, though?
Yeah, right. That's true.
But I did.
There should be a podcast where musicians just go on and talk about how they name songs and why, because I think it'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, there it is.
Yeah, right. This is the first episode. That was the first 30-second episode. Even it's for your for your shit podcast. This is for a piss podcast.
I was just gonna say the dribble, the daily dribble.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll write a theme song for that.
That's funny.
Thank you so much for fucking coming on today, man.
Oh man, no problem at all. I love it. It was great. It was very fun. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you.
Well, hold up. Before you go, where's all your social media stuff at that people can check you out at?
Yeah, so basically the band is seniordiscountmusic.com, and the podcast is chuckandbradpodcast.com.
Okay.
And the podcast is called The Chuck and Brad Podcast. That's what you can search for on iTunes and on all the services, whatever. Social media stuff is at Discount Chuck on Twitter and Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/seniordiscount and facebook.com/Chuck and Brad Podcast.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, man. Thanks again, man.
Hey, this is great.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah, if you guys want to hit me up anytime, I'm happy to come on. Talk to me if I'm going to share anything or anything like that. I love it. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're fun to talk to. So, yeah, we'd love to have you back.
Hey, man, I had a great time. That's great.
All right. Cool, man. Peace out, brother.
Yeah. See you guys soon.